What's up, guys? That Trek guy here, and it is a big day for the 347 stroker as it is finally coming off the engine stand for the first time in about 2 years since the engine got built originally, and it is going onto the engine crane where it will be mating up, hopefully permanently, with the T-5 world-class racing transmission that is currently in the back of my Exploder. So we will bring you that install video to come here on That Trek Guy. Thank you all for watching. We got some fun things going on. We got to mount the clutch and the flywheel today, hopefully, and we'll see if we get the transmission on. Maybe later in the week I'll get the engine in. So hopefully I can show you guys the car. I painted the firewall up so the car is ready for the engine. I just need to get that transmission on, hopefully slide them in as one unit. So bringing this video to come. I'm going to be following the CJ Pony Parts video on their YouTube channel. They have a great step-by-step instruction video. Bill there does a good job of explaining how to do it. Their engine is in the car already, so it's kind of easier for me to do it this way almost, because I don't have an engine stand. And so yeah, I'll be following that CJ Pony Parts video. Again, I got my T5 though from Vic down at PV Antique and Classic Ford in Tewksbury, Mass. So if you're in the area and you need a guy, look him up online. Give him a call. But yeah, so we'll get this going right now. I just got out of work, so hopefully we're gonna get this up on the lift. I got one of those Duralast motor chain thing majubers, and should be off this in just a couple of minutes, and then I'll start showing you how I'm putting my transmission on. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, so the engine is on the stand, and I'm going to start the transmission install. So first we're going to put this rollerized pilot bearing in. This is an important step that you're not going to want to miss, as Bill would say. So you just take it, you put some anti-seize around it on the outside, and tap it in with a socket on the face, and should be good to go. Luckily I have the 347 kit, so in his video he had to remove a bushing. I don't have to remove anything because it's a brand new crank. And so I'm gonna put that on with the anti-seize and the socket, then I'll put my separator plate on and the flywheel, and we'll be sitting pretty. I'm using the flywheel from the 347 kit, not the one from the T5 kit. Probably shouldn't have bought the extra flywheel, but you never know. So I'm using the 347 kit flywheel for that eagle rotating assembly that came with it. And yeah, so we'll install this right now. Alright, so got the bushing in, the roller bearing, the separator plate, and I cleaned up my flywheel with some brake cleaner and a scuff pad because it had some scuff, it had some rust on it. So we're going to go ahead and use these ARP bolts with the T5 kit, and should be long enough. Going to throw some blue Loctite on it, make sure it all seals up nice and stays snug. So that's the T5 right there in the box, but we're going to just wipe this down with a rag, and we'll throw that up on the car, on the engine. So that's a big step. Alrighty, after that epic fail, I was able to get the flywheel on and bolt it up. So now I'm putting in some screws, as Bill suggested in his video, and use the pry bar to keep some pressure on it, and so that I can torque these down to 75 foot-pounds. And if you're not cool, then you won't have one of these pry bars that Bill and I have. If you are cool, then you will, and you can lock it in there. You can torque the bench. So that will be done right now. We're going to torque in a crisscross pattern. Crisscross episodes. This is hard because I'm doing it on the lift, and it's really hard to push down without pushing the whole motor, so this is going to be fun. I might not show you this part because it's going to be violent, so wish me luck. So I got my pins in on the flywheel, and they were a real pain in the butt to get in straight. Not too much of a pain, but I mean you had to keep knocking them in to go straight, aligning them up, knocking them side to side. And even then, I don't even know if they're completely straight now. They look straight to me, so.
So, Austin?
Yeah.
So you're rewriting my, like, soon as you...
Yeah, so, just, watch out for those pins, and then, other than that, should be easy enough. Just slam them in, and, they go in a little deeper. I don't know if you can see that. A little deeper than flush with the flywheel, so. Now we'll move on to the pressure plate and clutch. Alright, so we're going to put the disc onto the pressure plate. Just this side down, from what I gather, on my expertise. And should be good. Should be good. And then we'll slide that up all into place on the pins. Good time to slide this alignment tool in. Make sure that everything is lined up just like that as you go and torque everything in. So put that in, and I will put the screws around on the plates, and a yippity doo-dah, a yippity day, something something, go your own way. So we'll torque that down right now, and I think that's most of the hard stuff. And then I guess you put the bell housing on, and then you have the clutch. So that's coolio, if you ask me. I'm gonna put the bell housing on. We'll try to get the tranny on tonight. I don't see why not. Things are going pretty swimmingly so far for me. The engine hasn't fallen off the stand yet, which is something I was mildly worried about. And it's just a pain in the keister doing it on here. So if you have another means to hold your engine, like maybe a car to hold it in, I do have a car to hold it in, but I don't want to do it because I don't have a lift to put it in after. So I'm going to try to slot them in all as one unit. I got a fart. So hopefully this works out for me. Anyway, if I can't slide it in as one unit, I have the hard part of the trans install done already. So we'll leave this in now, and we'll torque it down. Good time to slide this alignment tool in. Make sure that everything is lined up just like that, as you go and torque everything in. So put that in, and I will put the screws around on the plates, and a yippity doo dah, a yippity day, something something. Go your own way. So we'll torque that down right now, and I think that's most of the hard stuff. And then I guess you put the bell housing on, and then you have the clutch. So that's coolio, if you ask me. I'm gonna put the bell housing on. We'll try to get the tranny on tonight. I don't see why not. Things are going pretty swimmingly so far for me. The engine hasn't fallen off the stand yet, which is something I was mildly worried about. And it's just a pain in the keister doing it on here. So if you have another means to hold your engine, like maybe a car to hold it in. I do have a car to hold it in, but I don't want to do it because I don't have a lift to put it in after, so I'm going to try to slot them in all as one unit. I gotta fart. So hopefully this works out for me. Anyway, if I can't slide it in as one unit, I have the hard part of the trans install done already. So we'll leave this in now and we'll torque it down. Alright, so we did the 6 bolts all the way around, staging from first doing 12 foot-pounds on the torque wrench all the way around in a crossing star pattern, and then same pattern with 25 foot-pounds. We were freely able to pull out the alignment tool, so everything is lined up beautifully with that bearing inside, and next it's just put on the bell housing. So making some real progress here. A lot of the hard stuff is done, so we'll get that bell housing on and should be good. For the bell housing, we're going to utilize old hardware. Nice greasy old hardware from the 60s. And they have some longer bolts and shorter bolts from what I understand. The shorter bolts go, excuse my reach, on the top, and the bottom bolts are the longer ones. Makes sense since there's only 2 top ones. And I have 2 extra log washers that I'm sure are for these. Nope. So we'll get this ball housing on and see how it looks. Here's a shorter one. Making moves here, making moves. Oh, get it on those pins. That was a lot easier than I thought. To quote Bill. Oh, look at that. And boom goes the dynamite. Should paint these, but they're the bell housing bolts. No one's really going to see. Alrighty, so the bell housing's on. I found the other bolts. They were the ones that are actually holding it to the engine stand. But in the CJ Pony Parts video, they do not tell you about this pivot. They do mention it, but they don't tell you to install it. What the pivot does is it holds your clutch fork and inside the transmission in the bell housing. So what it needs to go is inside of here on these threads, like that, but on the inside of the engine. In here. So I'm gonna probably have to take this bell housing off again because the threads are because the bolt is too long to get it to line up. So that's wasted time, but not a big deal. So I just figured I'd mention that. Do that pivot. It comes with the bell housing. There was a hardware kit with the bell housing. It gives you the 4 bolts here and the pivot. So put that pivot on. You'll need it for the clutch fork if you want to shift. Alright, so I just want to show you where this is going to go. It's going to go right in your bell housing. Right there. And That'll be your pivot for the clutch fork. So do it right the first time. Because that was actually a pain in the butt to take off. It was pressed onto these pins pretty good. So yep, do it right the first time. Alright, so we're going to put the clutch fork and the bearing, the throw out bearing. So you take the clutch fork, take this, small end like that, you're going to go like that, slide it inside, catch it on the springs, bing bang boom, you're in. Now, slap chop, we're going to take it, bring this in backwards, because that's how it slides into best. Flip it around inside, then bring it towards and snap it on. And now, if you look, oh, that likes to slide out. Make sure that stays up in there. And that is that. That's all the pre-assembly to get ready for your T-5 world-class racing transmission. Coming up next for that truck guy. So, hopefully, probably get in the way. There we go. Let's see if we're good now. There we go. Okay, yep. Coming in next is the transmission. So, wish me luck.